to Healthy Hair for a Healthy You, a workshop which has been created and organized and worked and sweated through by Ms. Morgan Harris. She's doing this to earn her Gold Award. And to do her Gold Award, she actually had to do the planning of all of this. She had to go get this idea, write down and document her plan. She had to go have an interview, get it approved, and then do all the work that's associated with organizing, getting the speakers, having all the setup with her posters, and make sure you take a look at the posters in the back that Morgan worked really hard on. And so there's a lot of work that goes into this, and even when she gets done, she has to actually make it sustainable, which is the reason for the video, so other people can see this project, right? Okay. And then she has to go back to the council and show them everything she's done before she actually gets the award. A lot of work that goes into it. And this is equivalent to, you ever heard of the Eagle Award in Boy Scouts? This is equivalent to the Gold Award in Girl Scouts, is pretty much equivalent to that. But let me first introduce Ms. Harris. Morgan Ann Harris is a sophomore at Oswego East High School. She attends DuPage Community Church, where you are today, and is active in the usher board, Sunday school student, and Girl Scouts. She has been in Girl Scouts for 8 years. She enjoys participating in sports, which include track, where she was a national qualifier last summer, and basketball, where she was voted MVP her freshman year. She plays the piano and the saxophone, and she is also a member of LAW, which is Lambs Among Wolves, a Bible study at Oswego East High School. One of her, also know that Morgan was part of Oswego East District, Oswego District 2308, Grooming for Excellence Academy, which was created and put on by Dr. Loris Ferrer here in association with District 308, where they invited African American students who were considered to be scholars, those who were striving academically, to come in for 10-hour sessions, 2 5-hour sessions, to learn about the gap between African Americans and other students, what their role is, and how they can help to set the tone and be a positive influence. I'm sure Dr. Ferrer will have some words about that. Okay, one of her life scriptures is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, which is her motto, and I'm sure she had to rely on it to get through this today. So without further ado, it's Morgan Harris.
Hi everybody, thank you for coming. I hope you will get a lot of knowledge out of this today. So first we're going to pray. Please bow your heads and close your eyes. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for all these people who came over here to learn about how to take care of their hair and how to have more self-confidence in themselves. Please help people to come safely and return to their homes safely. And thank you for letting this be a success. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. So I'm going to introduce our panelists today. First we have Dr. Lourdes Ferrer. Dr. Lourdes is an academic consultant, researcher, motivational speaker, and an author. She also assists school districts to help improve the academic achievement of all of the students. So I was working with her over the past couple of months. We also have Ms. Monica Taylor. Ms. Monica has worked with hairstylists for over 26 years, and her shop is located on 1550 North Route 59 in Naperville. We also have Ms. Susan Helwig. She is a licensed cosmetologist since 1984 and is a Redken certified colorist. She is also a senior designer at Ulta Salon, where she has worked for over 15 years. She was also Girl Scout, starting as a cadet and through senior brownies. We also have Ms. Melvina Cox. She is a hair designer and hair loss specialist, and she has been a hairstylist for over 30 years, and her shop is located in Chicago. We also have Ms. Tamala Sibley. She is on her way now. I'm going to go ahead and introduce her though. She has been a cosmetologist for over 15 years and a cosmetologist educator for over 10 years. And her salon is in Bolingbrook in Martha's Beauty Supply. So first, I'm going to hand it to Ms. Monica Taylor, and she will talk to us about working with little kids' hair.
And shall times people want to put them in ponytails, pull it really tight. And that's fine if you want to wear a ponytail, but when you're putting your girls in little ponytails, try just to put the rubber bands with the material around it so that you're not breaking it and damaging it, because the regular rubber bands will have a tendency to pull, tangle, and snag on the hair. You should get their hair trimmed at least every 4 to 6 weeks. I have my car back, so I'm not gonna use them. Every 4 to 6 weeks for maintenance. Some people think, well, I'm not gonna trim my ends. Oh no, I don't wanna get my ends trimmed because my hair's never gonna grow. That's not the case. If you keep your ends nice and trimmed, when it grows down and it gets the length you want, it's healthy. Because other words, you'll have this split end hair that's hanging down and you're seeing how lovely and long it is, but your ends are see-through, okay? Also, we should shampoo and condition their hair. When you're shampooing and conditioning it, massage and manipulate the scalp so that the hair can come up to the surface and get the blood stimulated, because that's how our hair grows. With healthy eating, because she's going to talk about this, so I wanted to go right into her because she's going to be awesome for this. We have to eat right to keep our young girls' hair growing and keep it healthy. I would not, if you can help it, a lot of people want to put relaxers in their children's hair. I get it. I'm one, I'm guilty. But I maintain my kids' hair. I kept them in roller sets, oiled, shampooed, conditioned their hair. They didn't lose their hair. But with puberty, your hair will change. So I would suggest do not change your kids' hair. Let them be natural, it's beautiful. Work with it, that's what we're here for, to explain how to maintain our young kids' hair, to smooth it out. You can do it with a simple blow dry if you want to. Beautiful hairstyles, French braids in the front, so they don't pull out the hair. Nothing super tight. And with the relaxers, you also have to worry about burning their scalps when they do it at home. Like I use no more than a mild or a regular relaxer in the salon. So if you're gonna do it, try not to burn their scalps so that as it gets into the follicles, into the scalp, and you cannot grow that hair back again. This has happened to so many adults, which is causing us to lose our hair. And it's called now scarred alopecia from the pulling and the braiding. And when your kids are little, you'll start seeing the balding around the edges, and you think, oh, this is just how my kids is. As they grow up, they say, I've always been this way, but it's because of the tight braids and ponytails. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, that was very insightful. Next we will have Mrs. Cox.
Good afternoon. People don't like to see me coming because I start talking about your nutrition, and most of the time I don't use the mic because I do this all the time.
No, we need the
But
microphone.
I just want you to take a look.
We need the mic.
Oh, I need the mic for you.
Yeah.
This is where hair growth starts, from your diet. The intake of proper nutrition is key. Most of us have a habit of eating only things we like, the taste of, the color of, the shape of, but a balanced nutrition is key along with water. The challenge we have with most young people is that you don't drink enough water. Your body is mainly water. So in order to get the proper moisture in the bloodstream, we talk about blood being the lifeline in the church. It's the blood, it's the lifeline of your body, your health. Everything travels through the blood. The vitamins, your water, even medication. So if you don't have a good nutritional intake, you're not going to have healthy hair, as well as the fact that it thins, it sheds, it breaks off easily. Young ladies, when she talked about doing the relaxer services, generally when we do relaxers in the salons, we like to start when the girls are past 12 or when they've started their menses. Because the hair, the body chemistry changes, just like it changes women when we're going through perimenopause to menopause. So you should wait until after they start their menstrual cycles if you're going to do chemicals. There are so many wonderful styles you can do with natural hair these days that it's almost not even necessary to do a chemical. If you're going to do the chemical, please deep condition. Please keep the hair as silky as possible with moisture. I brought samples today of just products that you can use that have good ingredients in it, like olive oil, coconut oil, extra moisture for the hair, because once the hair grows outside of the body, you have to keep it moisturized to keep it shiny, to keep it from breaking off. I like to use the analogy of a plant. When you don't water your plant and give it the right type of foods, what happens to the plant? It dies. We have to do the same thing with our hair care. So proper nutrition, proper moisturization, drinking a lot of water, along with doing the right type of maintenance with the different textures of hair and types of hair is key. So I have some information at the table. I have a tricholoscope. I'm licensed, certified to do scalp analysis, scalp treatments. That's another job that I do. It's gross. I'm going to turn that poster around a little bit and let you see what happens when you don't take care of your hair and your scalp, to let you know the hair loss track that we're on now, because it's an epidemic for men and for women. So starting young prevents it.
Thank you, Mrs. Cox. Next, we're gonna have Ms. Susan Hellwig talk about straight hair and perms.
Seems like everybody wants straight hair. I was born with it. It ain't all it's cracked up to be. It's limp, it's fine, it's oily, doesn't take a curl, doesn't take a curly perm, doesn't take a set. But when done properly, when you're taking over curly hair, and I'm sure that Ms. Monica's gonna talk about this more later, when you're doing texture services on hair, you really have to be cognizant, like the ladies were saying. It's a fiber. Your hair is a natural fiber, like cashmere, like wool. Anybody ever put the cashmere sweater in a hot wash in the washer and then pop the top in the dryer? What happened to it? It came out like a Barbie shirt, right? You have to maintain your natural fiber, regardless of what texture it is. Make it the best that it can be in its natural texture if you can. I had all the 80s. Remember the 80s? I went through spiral perm, after spiral perm, after spiral perm, trying to get them Mulbangs. Didn't happen. I could not overcome my genetics. And I fried my hair. It just did not work. More's the pity. I was a teenager. I wanted to look like everybody else. Teenagers want to mosh together. That's okay. But you need to take care of your hair. You need to protect your natural fiber from these harsh chemicals. The ladies were addressing relaxer burns. Curly perm solutions can do that to you as well. They can cause blistering, they can cause hair loss, they can cause permanent damage to the skin. So we need to respect these chemicals. Color is the same. In a lot of ways, people think color, oh, no harm, no foul. They sell it over the counter. What could be bad? It's a chemical. Especially when you're trying to lighten your hair. I believe it's 60 to 70% of folks have a lot of brown in their hair, whether really, really dark mocha brown to black or a lighter shade like I've got. It's very damaging to lighten the hair. And when you lighten it over the counter, they're not giving you about 80% of the information that you need to safely lighten your hair. And then you come up with orange colors, you come up with brassy banana peel yellow colors, and then that needs to be corrected. And all these chemicals take a serious toll on your hair. So that's why we're all here to educate you so that you can safely have the most beautiful hair that you can. And when you're my age and the gray starts coming in, that's a little, yeah, I heard, oh yeah, can I get over it? It's a little bit safer to darken the hair. It's a little less damaging because you don't need quite as much ammonia to break open the pores of the hair to get that dark pigment out. You're putting dark pigment on, but there's still some ammonia because that gray wants to fight it. Gray hair is actually clear. If you look at it under a microscope, it looks like a little plastic clear bar. There's protein cells but no color cells, so you're putting color cells into it. You gotta bust it open to do that, and that's again very damaging. So again, even with color, it seems so gentle. And I know ladies that change their color every 3 to 6 months, and they change it entirely. And then 2 years later, they're wondering why the bottom 3 inches of their hair, they can read a newspaper through it. It breaks it down. It's sort of like if you were to rub a piece of sandpaper on your hair over and over and over again, and excessive flat ironing, and excessive curling, and excessive blow drying do the same thing. Heat is just as abrasive to the hair as a chemical. And I have seen young ladies flat iron and flat iron and flat iron in their natural textured hair, and they've damaged it so much that it's now permanently straight, as though they relaxed it. And it's damaged every bit as much. So we need to respect the hair, we need to respect these chemicals and these extremely hot tools that you can fry an egg with, and treat our hair gently and with love. So, like the love that our Lord has for us and the love we want to show our hair, we need to respect it.
Thank you. Next, we're going to have Dr. Lourdes Ferrer, and she is not a hairstylist, but she has traveled all over the world, and she has been able to get different perspectives on how different types of hair is looked around the world, which is why she's here.
I don't know, I feel like I'm in the wrong place because this is not my career. I don't know anything about hair. I'm just Dr. Lourdes. I'm an academic consultant, and most of my life I have been overseas. As you can see, I'm a mix, and in Puerto Rico it's cool. I mean, I'm a mulata. Mulata means that I'm mixed. I mean, so part of my family are black, and part of my family are Spaniards. And so that's why I look this way that I look. And I speak Spanish because I'm a slave descendant like many other blacks. But the only thing is that my great-great-great-grandmother was sent to the sugar canes in Puerto Rico. They needed a big woman like me to work the lands. So that's why I look this way. And I know that it's kind of strange in the United States because they're always asking me, where are you from? And it's like, where are you from? Oh, I live in Madison, which is almost 100% African American. And my husband, they keep your mouth shut. Because if you don't say anything, you fit in. But as soon as I open my mouth, people go, where are you from? Puerto Rico, you know, there are people like me in the islands. So the only thing that I would like to share, first of all, I come here because of you, baby, because I love you, because I'm Christian. I'm evangelical. So I asked myself, what would Jesus do? So what would Jesus do? So that's why I decided to come here and give me a hug. So I came for her. So I just want to share some little words, and for me 10 minutes is, it's little because I'm used to speaking 3 hours. So I was born like this, and since I was little like you, I remember that every time I presented it to somebody, it would say, oh, what pretty eyes, yes, yellow eyes. What happened to her? She was born with bad hair, pelo malo. That's what we call in Puerto Rico, pelo malo. That means bad hair. And it was like a mistake. So I grew up like everybody was so surprised. Like everything was going well. But what happened to her hair? What happened to the hair? Because I was so light that I could pass like a white person. Well, now her hair is telling everybody that she's not white. So I grew up very innocent. What was wrong with me? Because in reality, I was cool with my hair. So they forced me to relax it, but I'm allergic. I was allergic to that. They would burn it, and my hair would fall, and infections. And then I was bald, and then I have to cover the bald. Then my grandmother wanted to iron it, so they put me on my knees, and they take an iron, like an iron for real. And I remember I was so afraid that she was going to burn me. Oh my God, I went through all that until the dear Lord sent me to the mission field. So I ended up in the mission field in Guatemala, up in the mountains. 10,000 feet above sea level, working in Guatemala, Mexico, all those places. There are no people like me there, so they used to call me Cottonhead. Because they have never seen blacks. So I was so different because of my size. That's beautiful. This is beautiful. So I'm an hermosa woman. Can you say hermosa? Hermosa, that means beautiful, because skinny people are not cute. You have to have weight. I mean, you're beautiful if you have weight. So I was the most precious woman up there in Quetzaltenango. So that woman has meat. So and then I learned that I was cute. They really convinced me that I was a beautiful woman. Then when I went to work with Mexicans, very, very, very poor people, and I couldn't relax my hair. First of all, I don't like relaxing my hair. So my mom was not there to obligate me to relax my hair. I was up in the mountains. There's no relaxers. Nobody knows about my hair, so it was growing, growing, growing. So I was wearing a hat all the time, so nobody will see my hair, because I grew up like that's something that you have to hide. I'm supposed to hide the fact that there's black in me. So I was wearing a hat all the time until I went to Mexico. I was watching my hair, and those indigenous, they're so poor, and they just watch you, just watch everything you do. So I don't have any privacy. And when I took off the towel, the lady said, why is it that your hair is like this? And then it's like this. And then I said, oh, because my real hair is like this. This is what in Puerto Rico they forced me to do. And then she said, you know what? I like it better like this, like this. And then that idea got into my head. And I said, not only they like my shape, not only like the fact that I'm big, they also like this more than this. So I have my excuse. So when I went to Puerto Rico to raise funds for the orphanage and feeding centers that I had in Guatemala, I went to a beauty shop and to a guy. And I say, can you cut the, I said, this. And he said, oh, you're going to go for an afro. That's what I heard for the first time. The afro, the afro, because in the United States they were having this thing about the hippies and stuff like that. But in Puerto Rico we didn't have that, And I said, oh, you want an afro like in the United States? Yes, and I learned for the first time, so they put it like really short. And I said, but because you're evangelical, you're a missionary, you have to keep it clean. So it has to be round, perfectly round. And I remember that I left that place with that afro. Oh, my family almost had a heart attack. My mom couldn't deal with it. My aunts couldn't deal with it. But Lord, you are so light. I mean, you guys are yellow. I mean, you can pass if you want to. But I'm not interested in passing. I really like who I am. Since then, I have never relaxed my hair. Never. And I just comb it out. The problem is that once you go after menopause and 58, I'm losing it, So I'm saying maybe you can help me to get my kinky back, because it used to be more kinky. We gotta talk. Because I want it like really kinky, when you come and go. That's when I like it, And then when I went back to Guatemala, what a sensation, because I used to dress like an indigena. There they dress different. Indigena clothes with my 9 yards that you wrap around these 9 yards, with my wig peel that is long to here. And when they saw that hair, they says, your hair looks like cotton. The indigenous Mayas, we're going to call you cotton head. So from that day on, I became cotton head, one of the most beautiful women in Quetzaltenango, Guatemala. Shapy, big, with cotton hair. I never went back to the line. And still, before my mother passed away, she said, can you please do it before I die? She was had cancer. Can you relax that hair? I said, Mama, I love you, but I cannot go back to that type of life, because I really like who I am. So my hair was a problem when I was in Puerto Rico, like a problem. For now, I consider that my hair opened doors, because I can be with a Latino, and I can be with a sister. And I tell the sister, maybe I'm not your real sister, because I can't mix, but I can be your cousin if you want. So we are a long way back relatives. So what I'm telling the girls here is, like yourself. You gotta like yourself, love your size. I love the fact that I'm 5'7", and I can really kick some butt. I'm sorry, girls, I'm not supposed to do that. But I'm a big woman, strong woman with a strong personality, and I thank God for my heritage. I thank God for the black in me, and my dream is that someday I can go back home and visit Africa, where this thing came from. Thank you.